And to talk more about the resignation of Boris Johnson and its consequences on the kingdom, I am joined live via Skype by Firas Modad, geopolitical and risk analyst from England. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. First, Mr. Modad, what are the reasons that led Prime Minister Boris Johnson to resign?
Essentially, his party lost confidence in him. The Conservatives have had a problem for perhaps 10 years now, where they have big ideas on how to reduce the size of government, how to improve the British economy, make it into a high-growth economy, get rid of the bureaucracy and the red tape. But time after time, they find that they are too paralyzed and incapable of actually implementing their ideas. And what this means is that, when crises come, be it the Brexit crisis or the COVID crisis or the current inflation crisis, it becomes easier to reshuffle the deck and to go into this theater of a new election rather than to actually implement the policies that they get elected on.
Mm-hmm. What about him stepping down? What will happen then, and who could replace him?
The process is now for the Conservative members of Parliament to narrow down the choice to two people by having rounds of election in which the one with the lowest number of votes is eliminated. And when the parliamentary party has narrowed it down to two, then the question gets put to the Conservative Party's membership, and they choose. Now, the nature of this process means that coalitions will be formed and will be broken. Many people will stab each other in the back, and it's difficult to say who ends up ahead. There are generally two camps within the Conservative Party. There is the establishment camp that wants to promote these big ideas, but is too terrified of the cost of actually implementing them. And then there are the people who want to implement things and are willing to bear with the political costs. And these guys are much fewer, and they tend to not be allowed to rise because the establishment, as an establishment, does control who manages to have a high media profile and who does not.
Mm-hmm.
But these are the
Firas
big
Modad,
divisions.
do you think that the new leader will have a different stance from the Russia-Ukraine file here?
Not initially. What is happening now is that the cost of living crisis has become so severe that it has become perhaps permissible to discuss whether or not these sanctions on Russia should continue, or whether access to food and fuel, even from Russia, should be prioritized. But in an election campaign, being overly sensible is extremely dangerous.
Thank you so much, Mr. Firas Modad, for all these insights. You joined us live from England via Skype.